Hey, what's going on, guys? Maldiva here, and today I'm going to be bringing you all a totally new video idea that I've never done before. So we have this 2v2 game, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to do some live commentary over it, and we're going to stop it, and we're going to pause. I'll talk about things, then play it again. So if you don't like that kind of thing, it might get a little annoying, but I've been noticing in the comments that people said that this would be an interesting idea to do. And I think this could really help out other warlocks and stuff. So first off, I'm going to give some like basic PvP tips that maybe some people don't know about, which even if you don't play warlock, I think it could help you out, because I'll try to generalize some of the things like with crowd control. But for the most part, before we get started, I'm going to talk about what your job is as a warlock in arena right now, and just like in general, what makes a really good warlock. So first off, I would say probably one of the most important things is how you use your crowd control. Fear. You're pretty much what you want to do is you want to piss off the enemy so much with your spamming fears to the point where they just want to break their keyboard. I'm just gonna try to put it out there so people understand. Fear spamming is actually really important, but there are ways to do it properly, and then there's also the improper way, and how like you crossing DRs and stuff. So we'll talk about that once we get into me playing. So number one, fearing properly, being annoying, being disruptive. That's what a warlock is all about: being disruptive, breaking up crowd control chains, peeling when your healer's stunned so he doesn't die in the stun, because that's normally when people die, is in stuns. So that's one thing. Next, then we'll touch up on your damage. Damage is very important as a Desh Warlock. You want to be able to put as much pressure on the enemy team as possible, because it peels for you, it peels for your teammates, and then it forces the enemy's cooldowns. That's what you want. That's like, kind of like the end goal is. You need to force the enemy team's cooldown. So this team has Cloak, Vanish, Sacrifice, Bubble, all of that stuff that we have to get through to be able to get the kill. So knowing, I guess my rule when I jump in arena is like, all right, I need to try to get as many chaos bolts as possible. That's how I'm gonna win the most chaos bolts possible. So everything I'm doing in my mind, it's just like, all right, I gotta get bolts out, Am I generating shards fast enough? Am I using my conflag stacks properly and not just burning them out on incinerates, and then not having the cast speed for my chaos bolts? And also setting myself up for my bolts, because I have a druid, he can stun for me, but I don't want to have to fully rely on it. I want to be able to set up some things on my own as well. So anyways, I'm sorry that I like kind of rambled about that. I felt like those tips would help out a lot of people that are playing warlock right now. Maybe they weren't really aware of that stuff. So I'm gonna be pausing it probably quite a bit if I have any like thoughts that I want to do or whatever. So hopefully it doesn't get too annoying. I mean, this is mostly just for like instructional, not like entertainment purposes for this game. So we'll have the other videos for entertainment if people are interested. Yeah, so my druid decides to rake the pally over there and open. I think he could have probably waited, because the stun didn't really help me out at all, but it wasn't too bad. And it actually kind of forced the rogue to go him, because the rogue was able to get a sap on me, and then my druid is out, but he caught him in bear form. So that's the best case scenario right here, is getting caught in bear form. He should be fine. Now the pally is trying to half repentance me off of this sap, and it looks like that I'm actually playing Reflect. I don't know if that was a mistake or not. Normally when I first this comp, I'm not going to be playing Reflect. So I'm not sure if that was my UI bug or not, but I did not press it a single time this game. So he goes for the juke actually there, and yeah, I did use my spell lock and fell for the juke. But my druid was able to dispel the Hodge off of it, and then I just decided to fear the pally immediately, so we can start generating pressure on the rogue, because my druid's already getting like, he's already at half health. So he decided to Thorns himself to try to get some extra damage on the rogue. So now, to get that pressure, we need to start the CC rotation on pally. So that was my first fear. Now, I want to talk about like fearing properly and stuff while we're on it. We'll get it out there early. The way to do it properly is you want to do one target at a time. You don't want to flop between the two, where if I was to waste the DR on the pally, then fear the rogue, then go back to the pally, then go back to the rogue, because you need to allow time for your DRs to reset. So the best way to do it is to keep one person out of the game. So you fear him full duration, then half, then quarter, and then you can rotate it to the other guy to give it time for the DR to come up on the other one that you initially started fearing first. So he has Divine Favor up. I got full blinded. I'm playing Relentless, so I get stuck in it. He gets the DR Repentance off of that. I could have reflected that, I guess, if I had it or not. My Druid gets a really, really nice gate there on the bomb, which is pretty lucky. And the Rogue just decided to come up on me. He used his Vanish to grope me because my Druid got away, and he bashed the Pally into a clone. So then I drop Infernal, pop my Dark Soul, and we're trying to get some pressure. He's going to rake the Rogue right there, and then I get kicked, so he trinket the stun and kicked me on Bolt, which is kind of unfortunate. I mean, I maybe should have juked it, but I really was pretty confident in getting that Bolt, and I also got the spell lock on the Pally right there. So that means I'm going to shoot my Maldic trinket at the Rogue, which does dot damage and also absorbs healing. And then right off of the lockout, I'm going to fear him half. He actually decides to trinket the half here right there. So he trinketed the half here. I still have Dark Soul up for 8 seconds, and Infernal's out. The Rogue is really, really low. He's got 100k health, and he decides to cloak. So now I got the Pally's trinket, the Rogue's cloak with my one go, which is really nice. Now the last thing we just got to get is his sack. And this is a cool pause point because he popped Divine Favor, and I was able to devour it off. So you can see right there, his Divine Favor was not active. It got devoured off. And then I, like, 1 second feared him on it. I think I did that in my mind. I saw that he had Divine Favor, and I'm like, oh, crap. Just to allow myself more time to try to devour this, I'm going to fear it. Even though it's kind of at that point, with the DRs, it was just kind of a waste. We just better off saving it and letting it reset so I can fear him full. So then I decided to start bolting the Pally, double coil since they're all on fear DR, and just start touching the Pally a little bit. But we're attacking at a wall, so he's not going to take too much, but he's already pretty low. He has melee wings up. I think my healer Maldic'd him, but he dispelled it. And then he also got a clone on the Rogue while we were doing that. So I gave up on that. Pally's just going to run to the pillar, and we just go back on Rogue. I juked him on kick on the Shadow Fury right there, so now I'm able to freely bolt him. I got a lockout on the Pally too, so this is huge. Now we kind of want to look for crowd control off of that. So my healer gets the stun, and now I get... Okay, there's another Divine Favor. I think I go for the Devour. Yes, yeah, I missed that Devour. He had another magic buff. But my healer gets the clutch bash on it. But unfortunately, we overlapped it with my fear. So that kind of sucks. But we were both going for that Divine Favor because the Rogue is really, really low. He has no cloak, and we're trying to get the Pally sack. So we triple feared him into a Shadow Fury, being super disruptive, and we forced the sacrifice. He was not able to use his Divine Favor for the longest time and had to use the sacrifice out of that. So if we think back, all right, what if we did not interrupt them on his Divine Favor, like, and he got that heal off? He probably wouldn't have had to sack the Rogue there. So then we would have had to go through sack later in the game, which would have been pretty bad for us. Because right here, my Druid gets caught out while we were doing all that, and they stunned him and also popped Vendetta. So the Rogue has sack up, pop Vendetta on my healer, so I can't really damage him. But he's attacking into Thorns. He got the Thorns up. As you can see, the Pally is getting beat up by the sack damage. The Rogue attacking into the Thorns, and it looked like the Pally is, I guess, meleeing him a little bit, trying to get some pressure. We procced Safeguard on that go. So yeah, I decided to fear the Rogue here because my healer's in a stun, and this is like the only way he can really die from a Rogue is in the stun, especially during Vendetta. So when you see key cooldowns like this, Rogue Vendetta, that means big damage. You do not want to leave your healer getting attacked by the Rogue in a stun during Vendetta. I mean, even like Vendetta without a stun, leading up to the stun, you want to be peeling it. But for Druid, it's better off I just peel it during it so he can keep his hots up and do his thing. So I triple feared him. He was able to recover a little bit. I got the lockout on the Pally right there. Pally is really, really low, but also the Rogue. So I just wanted to focus on Rogue. And I have DRs up for fears on the Pally. I got tab kicked there. That was kind of bad on my part. Now he's going to try to rep me off of it, but he should be able to get the Dispel, I think. He might have had to Dispel himself if there was like a Maldic or anything, or maybe the poisons. But so I rooted him. He got away for the meantime. Got a clone on the Pally. It was a really good clone on the Pally right there. And now he's going to come right back out because I can't really attack behind the pillar. And this is not the place that my Druid wants to get stuck. Not the place. It just destroys me as a Destro lock. So he's going to come right out. He was trying to bash the rogue right in my line so I could attack him on the pillar. And he got it, so I was able to do it. I casted a little Drain Life while he was running around the pillar, but Drain Life doesn't really do too much damage. So the Pally decided to bop the stun, and then he redirected it with a Kidney onto my Druid, and he caught him out in cat form too. But he's fine. He doesn't have Vendetta, so he can't do too much damage, and my Druid is just able to run away freely. And now they're forced to be behind the pillar. I decided to spell lock the Pally here because I want to keep the pressure, and we got dampening ramping up. So I felt like we can go off that. He gets the Rake Stun on the Rogue, and I got the double coil, but the Rogue blinded me right as I coiled. Normally, I would want to fear because I didn't have any fear DRs up, and you want to like triple fear the healer first into double coils if possible. It's the most efficient because then your fear DRs will be dropping sooner during your coil. But yeah, I just saw a really clutch moment, and I was afraid they were going to just keep lining around the pillar, so I wanted to get that going. Pally decided to Hodge me while my Druid got kidneyed, but I just used my human racial. Let's see, he has Divine Favor up. That was also the Rogue's Cloak. My Druid is really low. He's actually got a Maldic on him right now. Look how low he is. Rogue has Cloak up, so I can't even peel him at the moment. And Pally has Melee Wings, so I had to decide to fear the Pally on his Melee Wings and just keep my fear DRs on him for now. But also... Oh yeah, here's also a little different kind of variation I did with my offensive cooldowns. If you notice, my Infernal wasn't up yet, but my Druid is just getting pummeled and destroyed, and he needs peels bad, like fast. So I decided to pop my Dark Soul, because I need to become a threat. Rogue has no cloak. I need to do something before my Druid dies, because they're both in his face. Pally has Melee Wings. They have no trinket, so this is a really, really prime opportunity for me to set up a kill here. But look at this. He gets garroted off of it. Gets a really good bash on the Rogue and is able to get away behind the pillar and then recover, which was nice. And then now I have my Infernal for if anything goes bad again, I have the little mini stun from the Infernal. My Devour came up right there, and I devoured the Pally's Divine Favor, which was nice, so we didn't get the big heal. Guess it didn't really matter because, I mean, the Rogue is already topped and got topped. But here's the full Kidney. I was able to fake that little tab kick right there. I get Repentance. I think he's just able to dispel me out of that. And then I do my full fear on the Pally. It breaks on all the bleeds and my dot. So I double coiled off. We Maldic the Rogue. This is a really interesting setup right here. I want you guys to pay attention to this. So Pally got feared directly across the map away from the Rogue. The Rogue is on the total opposite side back there with my Druid. He has a Maldic on him. Pally has no trinket. Now I'm going to opt to root him, so I can flag rooted him to waste some time. He's going to have to freedom himself into another fear, and then that's the bubble. And look at this Rogue. Look how low he is. 40k health. He's got a Maldic on him, beating into Thorns. He wants to keep attacking my Druid because look, my Druid's 50% in the kidney shot. So he drops the bomb to try to avoid bolts, and then the Pally sacks him as well. But he has bubble up, so now I can't do anything really. Couldn't fear the Rogue because of the bomb. Bomb fades. I fear the Rogue because my Druid is in a pretty good amount of trouble. Dampening is ramping up, so he could potentially die. Pally, this Hodge right here was a big mistake, and kind of, I think, killed their only kill opportunity after this, because he just totally wasted this stun DR. Instead of just letting the stun DR come up and then the Rogue puts a full stun on him, he just threw it out there, wasted it, DR stunned him, Rogue can't even attack, and then he just recovers. I think that was his innervate, so he's just hard casting heals on himself. So he bashes the Rogue has no trinket and no bop available from the Pally. And now I want to look for a fear in the Pally. He's standing right there. He has no bubble, no trinket. I get Repentance, but that's an easy dispel. And there's my full fear. The Rogue gets Ursuled, and I'm going to just try to potentially kill the Rogue because he has no... he actually does have Cloak now. He got that kick on me, and I wasn't able to squeeze the bolt in between, but then my Druid gets a really clutch Cyclone right there on the Rogue as the Pally is getting out of the clone. And he has a Divine Favor up, so I'm going to wait for this little magic buff right here. And then I press Devour. Devour's Divine Favor. Potentially open him up to a spell lock. And then I feared him 1 second. That fear was kind of not really useful. But look at this. He rooted the Pally, and I don't think the Pally had a freedom. And now the Rogue is stunned right here at a line. So look, check out this little situation. Pally pops his Melee Wings. My Druid's attacking the Rogue right now. He's at 60k. Melee Wings up, out of line of his Rogue, so he can't do anything. And I have a Havoc on him, so I'm about to coil him, but I'm waiting. I'm trying to buy as much time as possible So when he starts getting in a line, when he breaks this route, then I'm gonna coil, because he's actually in crowd control. This is effective crowd control, unless he judges me. So he's gonna get a little heal from that judgment, but nothing you can do about that. So he decides to freedom himself, and that's when I launch the coil. But I don't have fear DR, so I have to kill here. So there's the bolt, and bolt into conflag. That got us the kill. Rogue actually had cloak there, it looked like. So it's kind of interesting that he didn't decide to cloak there, or maybe he was stunned. Oh, let's see. Actually, I want to go back and see that. So we coiled him. He got a... looks like he got a free second. I don't know. He probably had to be mashing it there. That was really, really close. But, yeah, anyways. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this commentary. This was my first time doing it, so yeah. Let me know down in the comments how I did and if I should continue to do these. Maybe I'll do them for 3's games. 2's games are just a little bit easier to break down or whatever. But yeah, so don't forget to subscribe, guys. Hit that notification bell so you're always notified whenever I upload. We've been having daily uploads now. And yeah, leave a like and a comment, and I'll see you guys in the next video.